for the revival.
Y'all know what this is. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brother, man. You guys know who this is, and that's Mr. Glass Half Full, and that's Spee if you nasty. Now.
Let's go, people.
And shout out to our brother El Jefe. Unfortunately, could not be here today. He's a little bit under the weather. Super Bowl blues, man. When you start seeing people around there, you get a little bit under the weather. So is me, man. A little under the weather as well.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm rocking with you guys. Hopefully the energy's here for you guys. But we got a special guest, of course, later on today. But first, let's go around the room. Spee, how was your weekend, brother? What's going on with you? Cheers.
Weekend, hey, cheers. Well, glad to be back. Another Tuesday. What's up, chat? See you all out there. Weekend was good, man.
How the hell did I forget, Spee? I'm sorry. Shout out to you. Yes, you, the revivalist in the chat.
Yeah.
Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. As you see, guys, I am under the weather. Forgive me, man. I will never forget that again. Forgive me.
Hey, no. We all make mistakes. It's
Thank you, man.
We're still a little hungover from the Super Bowl, right? It's yesterday was they say the most unproductive day of the year. Today's theoretically the second most unproductive day of the year. So no, it was good, man. Weekend we had a 40th birthday party. We had day before Super Bowl. We were supposed to have some people over. Things got out of hand a little bit the night before. So of course we're like, hey, you know what? We're not feeling too good. Everybody just stay home. We chilled out. Then we got snow today, man. Snow today. It kind of kicked our asses up in North Jersey. So I don't know, man. How about you? How was your weekend? Did you get to watch the Super Bowl at all?
Unfortunately, man, I worked, man. I was out and about, but I was able to see Usher, man, come in and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? On the way, I was listening, doing what I got to do. So I was able to see the Usher halftime, able to see the second half, man. What a game. I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of limes too, Spee. I'm going to throw this out there. Let's see what limes we can give this game, because I got a little mixed emotions on it. But other than that, man, got some snow, got the shovels, my driveway, every which way is possible. And, man, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling, baby. I'm just chilling. I'm here with you. You know what I'm saying?
We're here. We're here now.
But let me ask you this, Spee, because Super Bowl, obviously, Kansas City Chiefs, man, versus the San Francisco 49ers. First, before I dive into what the notes is, of course, I do this every week. I kind of just throw something at you. But I just want to give it how many limes of excitement. 1 to 5, how many limes of excitement would you give this Super Bowl? And, Spee, I'll go first. I'll knock this out the way. To me, I didn't think this Super Bowl was kind of eventful. Like, when you look at other Super Bowls, like as far as like the Giants, and when you look at other Patriots where they came back from the Falcons and scored 1,000,000 points to win that game, it wasn't as eventful as that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a good game. I thought it was cool. It was very evenly matched. It was very boring until kind of the fourth quarter hit. But overall, I was just like, I'll get this about 3 limes, man. So, you guys know what this is, man. We're going to get 3 limes.
A bit of lime for a good time.
You know what I mean? 3 limes.
I respect that. I could see how people were turned off by it. Me, personally, I felt like it was 2 very good defensive teams going at it for a long time. Like, we had Spags in his bag. The whole game. He kept not the whole game, the whole season. Shout out to Spags, man. He had that defense playing so good all year long. It's one of the main reasons they won the Super Bowl. I know Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. All that noise, he's going to get the accolades, but that Chiefs defense had San Francisco in hell for most of the game, dude. And shout out to San Francisco's defense. They were pressuring Mahomes. They were toe to toe. Wilkins was in his bag too. It was a good fight. And then right at the end of the game, offenses started figuring it out. Patrick Mahomes you can only keep Patty Mahomes down for so long. And then the end of the game, it was kind of, I guess, I don't know if this is a good or bad. Went to overtime, obviously awesome. But then the end was like everybody kind of was like confused, especially like me and my wife were watching the game. We're like, wait, is that game over? And it seemed like San Francisco was like, wait, that's game over too. So Shanny, not the best look for that coaching staff and Shanny, man, not having his team prepared. Andy Reid.
See, I knew the new rules. I knew
Yeah.
it. I was like, yo, the other team got to get a possession, a touchdown. wins.
Right. If you knew it,
I
how
knew
did
it.
nobody on that fucking sideline coach that
No
up
clue.
even prior to the game?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. That's what I say.
fucking huge.
Don't make an
bro.
excuse. Go get better. You know, to me, that's an excuse. You're a professional coach in the NFL. If you don't know the rules and able to take advantage of the rules, kind of like a Belichick type of thing, then what the hell are you at this high level for? You know what I mean? Like the fans, you can never tell me now the fans don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? Because we all knew the rule. I did. I was like, okay, they got to get a possession to score in the playoffs. It's just what it is. Again, I don't know. Shout out to Kyle. I gotta
be honest. My wife caught me sleeping because I looked at the rules when they came up and they announced it right before overtime, and I just like, it's the same rules. I didn't even really pay attention to what they were saying. I was on my phone, and the overtime was going on. My wife's like, they'll have another chance after even if they score a touchdown. I was like, no, the game's over. She's like, no, these are the new rules just for the Super Bowl. I was like, you're lying. You're fucking lying. Shut up. Lo and behold, I was as dumbfounded as San Francisco sideline, man. So it was kind of anticlimactic at the end, whereas like they scored, game over, just hit you bang bang. You didn't even realize how much was invested in that last play because there was a confusion. But all in all, I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna give it 4 lines because I'm a defensive guy, and Patty Mahomes is now created a dynasty. So that I look a big picture. So 4 lines for this guy. I don't know what you think, but chat. Get in there. You tell me what you think too. I don't know, but listen, when it comes down to it, dude.
Let me say this, B.
Patty Mahomes.
Is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT at this point? I've seen online, everybody's like, Patrick Mahomes is a GOAT. He's a GOAT. That's it. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. What is your thoughts on it, brother?
Yeah, so I've been saying this before he won the Super Bowl. I for my football knowledge and football watching for over, however long it is. I'm not going to say my age here. I'm not going to give out my age. But I've seen a lot of good quarterbacks, in my opinion. And for my money, the combination of everything that Patrick Mahomes has, he's clutch, he's talented, he can run, he can throw, he can make every throw on the field. For my money, what he's done so far is at the age of only fucking 28. With that many Super Bowl appearances, MVPs, wins, appearances, what he's done in his career so far, he didn't have any weapons this year other than Kelsey, and he fucking dragged that offense and that good defense. We've talked about it. Right. Just impressive fucking work by the GOAT, in my opinion, man. He's more talented than Tom Brady. I know Tom Brady has the 7 rings, but that was at the end of a 40-plus-year-old career. At the end of the day, I think. To me, it doesn't matter how many rings per se. Patty Mahomes can finish with 5 rings, and I would still put him above. He doesn't need to win 7 rings to beat Tom Brady in my book, because that rings are a team thing. Rings are a team thing too. And Tom Brady, for as good as he is, he was on a lot of good teams too at the beginning of his career. But Patrick Mahomes, for my money, talent, clutchness. Everything that a quarterback is, he is the best I've ever seen. Tom Brady, clutch, but not. Talent-wise, I always said Peyton Manning was more talented than Tom Brady. Not as clutch, but more talented. I think Patty Mahomes is a combination of both. That's my opinion.
I'll tell you this, man, and I'll try to make this quick as possible, man. You can't discount the hardware as Tom Brady has, right? Not only that, you got to understand that you're talking about arm talent and etc. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes probably have better arm talent than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's Tom Brady. When Tom Brady was actually in there, didn't he beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Didn't he beat Patrick Mahomes a couple times, I should say? Count it. So, yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. Even Mahomes said it himself. So he can't be the GOAT because the GOAT beat him, he said. You know what I mean? So I think that debate is had once the career is all said and done. Let's see how it goes, because everybody's talking about pace, right? But unfortunately, in a race, someone can actually lose momentum in a race. So that pace can actually dwindle down. Not saying Patrick Mahomes is going to, but you got to understand that the pace can slow down. The team.
Oh, for sure. I don't expect them to win every year.
Right. Eventually, the NFL can catch up to this team. Eventually. right? And then they'll figure them out, and then you'll go, damn, what happened to Pat? Maybe he got a couple more. I think he'll win 5 in total. But to actually get to 7 Super Bowls and actually win them, I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish that goal Tom Brady did. Tom Brady did that thing at 44, 45 years old, too. And I'm sure Pat Mahomes will be going through that, probably playing to that age as well. But to discount what Tom Brady has put on the field, don't forget, he was a 6th-round pick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. This guy was warming the bench for a while till Drew Bledsoe got hurt. So the storyline and etc., how they just poo-pooed on Tom Brady throughout his career and then to become this wonderful, extravagant quarterback that we've seen when his career was done, it's hard for me to say that he is not the GOAT. I think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time just because of the journey and etc., and you can't discount the hardware, period. And when it mattered, he did beat Patrick Mahomes. So even Mahomes said, like, yo, I got to humbly step to the side, man. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Now, is Patrick Mahomes going to be that special type of quarterback, Mount Rushmore? Yeah, you can debate that. Absolutely, you can. But as far as like the greatest of what I've seen of what he's able to contribute to a team, etc., to me, it's Tom Brady, and I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but that's just what it is for me. You know what I mean? Tom Brady is the greatest of all time for me.
Okay, so is there so is it all about hardware for you? Because like, what if?
Yeah, because what's the greatest debate? What's the greatest debate when you talk about LeBron and Jordan? Jordan got 6 rings and never lost in the finals. LeBron got what, 5? Lost a few finals.
Hey,
or whatever the case is.
Brady's lost 2.
And here's the thing, though. But that's one of the. He still got that one up, Jordan. Jordan's the greatest of all time. Period. I don't care what LeBron does statistical wise to try to beat Jordan. I just think that as far as killer instincts, etc., Tom Brady has that Michael Jordan in him.
So what does he have that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have? What does he have that? What does Tom Brady have that Patrick Mahomes doesn't?
I want to.
Nothing.
Here's the thing: they both got that killer instinct.
Exactly.
Both got that killer instinct.
Yeah,
but at the same
he's
time,
done it all already.
And I feel that. But for me, again, you're looking at that 6th-round pick, that journey, etc. This guy wasn't even. Don't forget, Mahomes is a 1st-round pick. You know what I mean? So he was destined to do something this great. But when it comes to Tom Brady, he wasn't even destined to do that. He was just a 6th-round quarterback that just.
We've seen first-round picks that have not panned out.
True, but not only that per se, he also did it on a whole nother team when you even thought it was coaching. You know what I mean? So Tom Brady still wanted Tampa Bay, which they had a few players that they had to put around him in order to make it work. But still, he did it and put it at that highest level at 44, 45 years old. So you can't tell me that's not the GOAT, right? Like, this guy was beating Father Time. So that's why I say give Pat Mahomes, wait till it's all said and done, because we don't know what age Pat Mahomes is going to play.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Wait till it's all said and done. But to call him the GOAT right now, no. Can he potentially be the greatest of all time? Sure. He definitely can. But as of right now, everybody's labeling him as the GOAT. Heck no. Stop.
I don't think everybody is. Let's be fair. I think what it is from the at this point in their careers, Tom Brady, he's already beating Tom Brady in almost every category statistically at the age 28. He's only turning 29 in next season. This guy has, if you think about it, at least 5+ more years, and like he could have the down years, and like so. In my opinion, for me, I know hardware matters, but like the only thing keeping Mahomes back right now for the hardware debate is he's just only 29. Like that's the thing. So I just don't think I don't see anything that's gonna keep, barring injury, obviously, knock on wood. Injuries aside, I it's almost inevitable. It's like fucking Endgame, like it's like he is inevitable. Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna fucking find a way.
The pace is there, and I respect the pace, but again, I just cannot give him that label. No,
that's fair. That's fair.
Definitely.
I'm jumping the gun. 100%.
Like I said, you look on the X app, and I'm like, and I put out, and I'm like, yo, man, like it's hard for me to say Tom Brady's the GOAT, and everybody was in my comments. I had to shut my comments off because I'm like, what am I missing here? Am I missing something? Is it a different type of perspective to people looking at that? No, he just cannot be at this present time. It's not, his career isn't done. So
if he wins 6 rings,
he's chasing that.
If he wins 6 rings, though, would you give him the nod? If his stats are so he has to win 7,
like everything. for me to say, all right, 6, because I don't know. Again, we're just guesstimating. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what his totality is as far as statistical. I don't know if it's you know, I just like there's so many factors just to say, all right, if he has 6, he's the greatest of all time.
He's gonna shatter all of Tom Brady's like statistics.
Hands down, he will. He will.
Yeah.
But at the same time and token, I know what Tom Brady is at the end, and I know what's behind him. So I can't be like, well, if he won 6, sure. No, right now I can only compare the two right now. They're not even close to me.
Okay.
Like it could get there, but they're not close to me. Right as of right now, no. I think Pat Mahomes is that LeBron, that number 2 guy was like, oh, bona fide Hall of Famer. The guy's gonna be one of the greats, but the greatest of all times as far as quarterback wise. I look at Tom Brady and I go, man, the leadership, etc. That this guy had it. You know what I mean? Mahomes, you can see it, but it's just way too soon to give him the greatest of all times title at this.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, speaking of, before we get to another quarterback, and then we'll move on real quick after this. But we have a super chat. Hello. Hey, what's going on?
I have my sound effects.
Got a new mic. Round of applause in honor of Valentine's Day tomorrow. Which New York Giant player, from past or present, would you want as your wingman? So,
Kayvon Musket Thibodeau for me.
Okay. Kayvon, the smooth operator.
Man.
Okay. I don't disagree with that. It's a pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna go with our good friend Tiki, man. Tiki is a very well-spoken, just chill. Like he also could get down and drink with you. Like Tiki
Let me take that back. We know Tiki personally. That guy's a freaking amazing. That's our guy right there. Shout out Tiki, man. I agree. Keep going.
No. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. I want that man by my side. Number 2.
I gotta take Tiki. Like he'll use all these big fancy words for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's stupendously.
Exactly. This is kind of
ordinary gentleman, and I'm like, man, I don't even know these words, Tiki.
Yeah,
like,
this is the company I hold. Yeah.
Shout out Tiki, man. That's our brother,
right there, man.
Good friend of the shows. But let me go let this with the other quarterback, man, on the other side of the ball, the 49ers. One thing that was definitely controversial, I guess, from Cam Newton. Shout out to Cam Newton, man. He was saying that the whole time during his playoff run that Brock Purdy is a game manager at this point. And let me ask you this, B. Do you agree with that? Because looking at Brock Purdy and how he played that game, yes, he was in the MVP conversation, etc. But the eye test don't lie. One of the better rosters in the league couldn't beat that quarterback. So when you look at Brock Purdy, is he that game manager that Cam Newton actually said he is? And
yeah. I mean, I think that Brock Purdy is he's a solid quarterback, especially given, like you were talking about Tom Brady and his journey. You know, look at Brock Purdy's journey, man. Like that guy, he is he's on the better half of a game manager. You know, he's not a guy he's not like a Trent Dilfer, along for the ride only kind of guy. He can process fast, like he can throw the ball around, he moves the offense, he keeps it rolling. But yeah, he's a very good to great game manager. I don't think he's like you put him on like another team. I don't think he's going to look as well. You know, in a lesser talented offense, or with one of the best game play callers in the league as his head coach. Again, solid player, very solid player. There's a starting spot for those kind of players across the league, mind you. He could still be good. He just wouldn't be in you even said yourself, I think one of your tweets, I can't believe Brock Purdy was in a conversation with Lamar Jackson. In no way would I consider Brady even close to top Purdy close to top 5. He doesn't reach that status for me. He's not a game changer. He's not elite. You know, he's in the back half of the top 10 for me, you know. And that's even cracking it. And that's, you know, leading a very good offense. So game manager, very good game manager. And there's no shame in that, especially where he was picked.
Listen, let me tell you this, man. As far as Brock Purdy, man, I think Cam Newton was right. You know what I mean? Like you can see him not take over the game, but he can help the people around him. Because when you see Debo get hurt and he couldn't run those routes, and that's his safety blanket, and guess what they did? Take away George Kittle's. You know what I mean? And then you go, oh, yeah, okay. He can't be that Lamar-esque. He cannot be that Pat Mahomes. Not that they need him to, but can he be a Joe Burrow? No. Can he be like there's so many people we can name? Josh Allen, no.
Yes.
Like we could keep going throughout the roster, and then you'll find Brock Purdy within that 10 or 11 range. Can he be a Dak Prescott? If Dak Prescott's on San Francisco, you could go, maybe Dak can make something happen with his legs, maybe. You know what I mean? But Brock couldn't take over that game, unfortunately, to win it. So as you're looking at that, is he a game manager? Brock Purdy's 100% a game manager. I don't think Cam Newton was wrong at all for giving that analysis. Because even when you looked at Cam Newton in his prime, Cam Newton in his prime took over a game. You know what I mean? Like, because what do we say about Cam Newton? He was kind of like Lamar Jackson. His arm was good. He's not a pocket passer. He's going to run, right? So that's just what it is. But Cam Newton at that height of his career, Super Bowl MVP, except this guy was throwing, running, doing everything of the kind to make it happen. Brock Purdy was in that pocket, ran when
he doesn't have an elite. He doesn't have any elite traits. Like
he just doesn't.
He's very good processor.
That's all that is. It's like, hey, throw it here. Throw to your option here. That's not open. Throw it to here. Like he's very, very coachable. That's pretty much it. But the people around him is what makes him good. You know what I mean? But again, when and shout out to Steve Spagnuolo, when he took all those people away, what can Brock Purdy do?
Well, speaking of which, Shanahan should have probably ran the ball with his all-pro fucking running back a little bit later in that game. That might have won the game. Might have won the game for him. Instead, he put it in Purdy's hands, and it turned out terrible. And for Shanny, man, imagine that. He lost 28-3 in the Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator to Tom Brady. Then Mahomes late in that 4 years ago, and then Mahomes again had the lead, double-digit leads in each game, and he did it. He came away 0-3, man. At some point,
halftime adjustments, man.
The pointing has to come back at you a little bit, right? A little bit of blame, and I love Shanahan. I think he's one of the best minds in the game, but you can't go 0-3 in that situation. You can't.
Listen, and here's the thing: he'll get back there. It's just a matter of can he learn from it and get better? And I think they. I
wonder how long is it going to take though? How long do you stick with the guy? Andy Reid got fired from Philadelphia, right? For that same thing, he couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Speed. That's another topic in the conversation. But
maybe if Dable doesn't have a good year and Shady doesn't have a good year this year.
It could happen. It could happen. No. The way they hiring Titans personnel, we might freaking get Vrabel. I'm sorry, from
Vrabel. Yeah.
Vrabel, wherever. We might get him the way they keep hiring Titans. But let's move on, speakers. I know we got we got a bunch of topics here before our guest comes in. But the Usher halftime show, how many limes would you give it, Speed?
Oh, all the limes, all the fucking limes, bro. I throw all the limes out. First of all, I'm a huge Usher fan going into it. He met my expectations and even slightly exceeded them. Like, he just played all the hits. Fantastic performer. Just had great guests out. Everything was timed perfectly. Nothing was too much. Nothing was too little. Like, I don't know, man. I thought it was aces. Like, he literally fucking aced it. Like, I don't know how you could do much better. And again, I seen the Michael Jacksons and the fucking Princes, and he's up there with them. He's up there with one of the best of all time, in my opinion. That I thought was good. I thought it was great. I don't know. I don't know. What about you?
I guess we have to scale in limes. If it's a 5, that's great. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it Infinity Stones. I'm gonna give it everything. Huge fan of Usher, man. Loved it. Yes. Not only that, I don't think people understood the Easter eggs that was in there. He was paying homage to the past Super Bowls. The one glove, Michael Jackson. Him taking off his shirt was homage to Janet Jackson with the wardrobe malfunction. The empty drummer seat was in honor to his drummer. So many Easter eggs in there that people didn't even catch on, which made it even more of a special show. Not only that, Her came out and played the guitar in honor of Prince. That was just crazy. Like, it was just
Luda came out.
Luda came in. Like, Little John was there. You know what I mean? Some dude got thrown in the air and fell. I hope that dude is all right, man. But that dude got tossed in the air, and I don't know if he landed good. If you go watch that playback. But if you go watch the playback, but I'll tell you this, man, it was absolutely amazing. I thought the halftime show was what it needed, because it's been lacking for that for so many years. Was just that, like, when you looked at Rihanna's, last performance, she was pregnant, unfortunately, but it wasn't like, oh man, we didn't get that full Rihanna that we expect. Right. You know what I mean?
Vintage.
But when you see that this Usher, man, I'm just like, yo, who's gonna top that now? You know what I mean? Who's going to top that? And we're going to go into that too. You know what I mean? Because now the Super Bowl's in New Orleans, and I want to talk about this in a sec, Speed. But who's going to top that? So I give that 5 limes, Infinity Limes, hands down. And Speed, let me ask you this, man. The fact that it's in New Orleans, what Super Bowl, man? What artists you want to see, especially, you know, doing the Super Bowl halftime? Forget the fact that it's in New Orleans, but New Orleans is a special place anyway. But what artists you like to see to grace that stage, man?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when you think New Orleans currently right now, I think Lil Wayne, man. You have to have Lil Wayne on there. I know. Like that's for me one of my OG rappers that I was listening to in my fun high school days. You know, so I definitely like to see Lil Wayne out there, man. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think he could. He doesn't have the catalog that Usher has. He can just run through shit like that. Like he's got a great catalog. Yeah, it's not hit after hit after hit after hit like Usher. Usher is so. Wait, you telling me that you think Weezy's one of the greatest of all time?
Weezy
in his category,
Little Wayne.
Usher is
no lie. I had this debate not too long ago with somebody, and I was like, "Yo, Lil Wayne's on Jay-Z's heels." To me,
oh, really?
Absolutely. The verse, the catalogs, the hits, the longevity. You get what I'm saying? Like, bruh, Lil Wayne's up there to me. And you know what? And you want with Weezy F? I'm gonna go with someone different in New Orleans native, man. I'm gonna go with Master P. You know, we bad about it. I would love to see Master P grace that stage. We're gonna talk about catalog, right? He had a nice little run too. I think he could go through a few hits and etc. Not only Shook the Shock that could come out, he got like Mystical and etc. I know he's going through some things, but you know, I think he just has a good catalog to put on. But here's what I like to see: Young Money, Cash Money, Young Money, and also No Limit kind of merge that together for the city of New Orleans. I think that'll be a special Super Bowl if we actually see something like that per se. So if you want to talk about Lil Wayne lacks the hits, then bring in Master P, bring in No Limit.
Yeah,
but
I would like
to. Weezy got a compilation.
Dude, yeah, he got a catalog. I agree. Maybe I misspoke, but it's not as.
About to say we about to have a session.
Right, it wasn't have to hit. It was We
about to have this session after the show. I'm gonna play you some Lil Wayne joints. You go like, I stand corrected.
No, I listen to a lot of Weezy. I have. I just think Weezy, for me, Usher was top notch. But listen, we're getting lost in the weeds here. We got a very special guest. We're gonna start. We're gonna switch up the topics here. We're gonna go full into New York motherfucking Rangers, people, and we have a great guest on to talk. So we're talking shop, baby. We're talking shop. We're having a great time here. Let me bring him in right now. Greg Kaplan, what's going on for Blueshirts Breakaway? Let's go.
Listen, we don't have to change topics. I can talk Lil Wayne halftime shows all day.
This is what I like to hear. We're going to get you in. You know what? Let me say this, Brother Craig. Welcome to the show. Welcome to New York Revival. We thank you for your time, my brother. We're going to throw you right into the wolves here.
Let's do it, man.
Listen, we're gonna stick to this Super Bowl halftime show. It's in New Orleans next year, man. What's the one artist you want to see grace that Super Bowl next year, man? Anyone?
You know, I'm bad at it. Because I don't know any artists that are from New Orleans or
I have to look it up.
That's fine.
With the recent trend, I mean, we had Rihanna last year, Usher this year. Man, what's a good one that I would just geek out for? Someone had a really good tweet. Someone had a great tweet during the Super Bowl halftime show itself where they said they're happy they're finally in the generation that these shows pander to, and I am 100% in agreement.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm finally happy to be in the demographic that people give a crap about. Where we can
we're there.
I love from my childhood up there.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Imagine seeing like like an Evanescence or like a Rough Riders. You know what I mean? Like imagine seeing them grace a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Are we past the point where Jay-Z could possibly do it? Like, is that?
I would love to.
We're getting close. I feel like we're getting close.
Yeah,
he's waiting for that right time. He's waiting for that right time to actually grace that stage. But I would love to see him.
He didn't do it at MetLife, so is he ever going to do it?
Exactly. That was a prime spot right there.
That's a good question.
It was cold, man. Maybe he didn't want to go outside. I get
it. Fair.
But we got you on here, man. We got the Rangers, man. That's been pretty much red hot one day, then they struggle in the next, then they find their lightning bolt again. So let's get down to it, man. Speed, what you got for brother Craig?
Yeah.
Man?
So all right, Greg. What we want to do to get it kicked off, we want to just get a lay of the land for the people, the casual fans, maybe fans that start getting interested a little bit now. What's your thoughts up at this point? 71 points, looking good in the standings. How are you feeling about the Rangers? Tell me why I'm feeling a little like there's a little bit something missing, right? And for me, I don't know. Tell me what you're thinking, Greg, because it looks good.
I'm still I don't know. Is something really missing? I'm not sure. It's tough because this is the upswing after the downswing, right? They start the season 18-4, red hot. Everything's going great. Then they play under 500 hockey for the better part of 6 weeks. And now they've won, 5 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
It's tough. I mean, if they play like they did last night against the Flames, things are going to be good, and eating's going to be good for a while. And this is a team that still obviously has some holes. Mika Zibanejad needs to figure it out. He's primary concern number one for me. Igor seems to be rounding into shape at just the right time, leading into the trade deadline. Being able to establish a goalie pecking order with the Rangers is always important. But honestly, the problems are small potatoes to other teams, especially in the Metro. Even when things were bad, the thing Ryan, my co-host, and I on Blueshirts Breakaway would do a ton is we'd ask people listening to compare our problems to the problems of teams we figured were going to be better than the Rangers this year. The Carolina Hurricanes don't have a goalie. It's not going well for them. And not only do the Devils not have a goalie, they have a lot more problems than the Rangers do on a nightly basis. So our problems always felt kind of small potatoes and fixable from the inside, whereas both the Hurricanes and the Devils need significant outside additions in order to reach the levels we all expected them to reach this year. So the Rangers sitting at 71 points in first place in the Metro, second best record, at least second highest point total in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and it's up there.
Again, this is a team that before this 5-game win streak was playing some of the worst hockey they've played all year. So you build the cushion at the beginning of the season to buoy yourself during the down times. Yeah. And with the trade deadline coming up, the Rangers have an addition they can make. But yeah, I mean, my issues with the Rangers are, in my eyes, pretty small. They're all fixable. They're all improvable, and they're trending once again in the right direction. At the cost of the Knicks, I hate to say. Once again, the balance of MSG has struck.
But it's so true. It's so true. But it's the same thing that bothered the Rangers going into the All-Star break, right? Like this team's petering out. It's just the injuries are mounting up. They see that light at the end of the tunnel, and they're not quite there yet. They just need to get to the All-Star break the next man. Like that. But that's for another time.
Let me ask you this, if you don't, my brother.
Go ahead.
What does the Rangers have to do at the deadline to solidify it, or do you feel like they have the core there already? That's already ready to go and make this big push in the playoffs. But do you feel like they need to do something at the deadline to kind of get them going a little bit more to get that spark?
Well, the concept of the core is interesting because I think the players that are here are the ones that are going to determine whether the Rangers go deep in the playoffs or lose early. Whoever they add at the deadline is not going to be a foundational piece. It's not going to be someone that's going to be a Ranger for a very long time. It's not going to be anyone that, is someone we think back on as having this long, brilliant Ranger tenure.
Right.
But we've been talking about it on the show what feels like every week for the last 3-4 weeks, and we're going to keep talking about it until the trade deadline comes.
Right.
Priority number one for the New York Rangers, they got to get Mika Zibanejad right. Yeah. And the easiest way to get Mika Zibanejad right is to identify a right wing on the open market that you can play with Mika Zibanejad on the top line. Everybody out there saying that the Rangers need a center to replace Phil Hedl. I get what you're saying. One, the prices are astronomical for centers. There just aren't enough of them available. And part of that is, listen, if these bad teams had better centers, they wouldn't be bad. So they wouldn't be looking to trade them. But the difference between Adam Henrique and Johnny Brodzinski is not wide enough to justify the likely first-round pick you would have to trade to get Henrique.
Yeah.
Whereas
First rounder.
with the Rangers are playing well right now with Zibanejad skidding. So if you can fix Zibanejad, that's going to be a better improvement over any center you bring in to replace Johnny Brodzinski, who, by the way, is playing really good hockey right now.
3C, baby.
He's been eating well at the deli.
Yes.
But
yes.
you know, as much as I love Capo Caco, I will always go to bat for Capo Caco. That line is better defensively than it is offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear that Zibanejad needs either a more natural facilitator or a sniper playing on his right-hand wing to get him going. The best Zibanejad has looked in these last 3-4 years is when Frank Vetrano was on his wing. And I'm not saying the Rangers need to get Frank Vetrano, though I understand
it. Wouldn't be bad, though.
You know, him being under contract next year is complicated, but it's something you can work around. But to me, the easiest, clearest upgrade the Rangers need is they need to have someone in their lineup that can push Blake Wheeler down to a more complementary role lower in the lineup, and have someone out there that can spin with Zibanejad. Because again, not only do I not believe in the center market that's available, it will cost you less to get a better player on the wing than it would to get an inferior player down the middle. So I'm firmly in the I wasn't always in this camp. This is a recent move for me, but I am firmly in the best way to improve this team is to help Mika Zibanejad at all costs. And that to me is adding a right winger.
Well, Johnny Broadway's, giving a little bit of he's cooled us down a little bit, right? It's not as urgent now with him doing what he's doing. And I don't know, like, is it just as simple as get Zibby like going on the power play and that'll get the rest of his game rolling? Or because if he just did the power play stuff, that he would still be good enough, in my opinion. But like he's not even scoring there anymore. It's like, what the f is going on?
It's tough. This is the worst case of the yips I've seen Zibanejad have in a long time. The power play right now just feels so oddly, I wouldn't say broken, but in a rut.
Yes.
Because we've seen these five guys, they were the number one power play for the first 4 months or 3 months of this season. They've been ultra reliable ever since Quinn put them together many, many moons ago, 3 coaches ago at this point. So we have plenty of data that says any power play unit that includes Adam Fox, Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, and Artemi Panarin, and one of Ryan Strome and Vincent Trocheck is one of the best 3 power play units in the league. This is an extended cold period for them. It is. There's no doubt about it. At the same time, I do have confidence that a power play unit with those 5 guys figure it out. They're too good not to.
Right.
But to me, I don't know. It's tough because when Zibanejad's in a rut like this, it always feels like the power play starts tilting towards him, where they feel this need to get him more involved. When really the thing that might be what gets the power play back going is to ice him out a little. The key to Zibanejad is always to get him hot at 5v5, and then he carries that confidence back to the power play. And right now, it's just not coming easy for him.
Right.
It doesn't mean it won't, turn around in the future. I'm not a doomsday kind of guy. I'm not saying the end is nigh with Mika Zibanejad. I'm simply stating the fact that right now he's struggling, and they got to do something to get him out of this funk. And they've tried it just about everything with the players they have on this roster, short of moving Will Cooley up there. But
that's not going to happen.
But that's not Cooley's game.
Right.
I'm enjoying everything Will Cooley is doing in the role that he's playing. I'm of the mindset, let him thrive where he is. And we can have a conversation about moving him up or down the lineup after next season, but let him get a full season under his feet and let him feel like he belongs and he's confident and he's playing the role he's designed to play, and then give him more responsibility.
Right.
I don't see it. To me, there are too many right wingers available that are really good.
Well, that's what it is. It seems like that right wing score helps the power play too. It helps Zibby on 5-on-5. It crosses off a lot of boxes. So get that done. Get that done, Jerry. Right? Like that, I think that's the key here. Before we get to the next point, we got a Precious, who's one of our good fans. The weekly Precious. She's always shouting us out. We love her. She keeps the lights on her over here, so we have to shout her out, Greg.
The weekly Precious. We appreciate you, Brett.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, man, because I know we're going through the whole thing here as far as what they can improve on. But the real funny question. But do you think Panarin really has a shot at the Hart, man? Do you really think, man? Because he's playing some pretty good hockey in some cases, right?
I would always like to say yes. It's more like, come on, we all get to see what Jalen Brunson does on a daily basis.
Yeah.
How fun is it to watch someone that's top 5 in the league tear it up in New York City? Nothing beats it. Sadly, I don't see it with Panarin. The hockey Nathan McKinnon is playing this year is outrageous. I get that it happens in Colorado, so it happens while a lot of us aren't watching, but he is having the special of special seasons. It is truly remarkable. And then you go down the list, like, it's like with baseball. You roll out of bed and Mike Trout's an MVP candidate. You roll it. It's Connor McDavid's award to lose every year. He's the best player in hockey. He does things none of us have ever seen or will ever see again. And then, another thing working against Panarin is Sidney Crosby's having a hell of a year, and he's 36 years old, and you get the nostalgia factor with some of these older stars. So those right there, those are probably your 3 Hart finalists if the season.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help that Panarin
cooled off a little bit.
His fault has cooled off a bit in terms of point pace, but yeah, the story is there for Crosby. McKinnon's been the best player in the world this year, and there's always Connor McDavid. So I can't put Panarin ahead of any of those 3.
That's fair.
Yeah,
all right. So on to another important player. Is Igor back? Is he? He's got to be back. Can he be back? Is he back?
Well, I mean, they need him to be back, right?
Yeah.
Especially if Zibanejad is going to keep struggling the way he is, they can't afford to play a below average goaltender, which at points this season Igor Shesterkin has been. Very few things get a player quite as right as pitching a shutout. I don't care who the opponent is.
Facts.
The Flames aren't an awful team, even though they weren't great shakes last night, but Igor was plenty tested, rose to the occasion, played quite well, got the shutout under the belt. It's a confidence game with goalies, just like it's a confidence game with quarterbacks sometimes. If the goalie feels good about himself, he's simply going to play better. And Igor Shesterkin is one of the best goalies in the world. He's been in a crazy slump, but he's looked a lot better coming out of the All-Star break. So if anything, he's trending in the right direction if he's not quite back yet.
Yeah, Benoit Allaire, man. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. He gets everybody going. And I found it pretty cool. Not cool. Lunkers went through something like this back when Rato was a goalie, and he sat like 4 games, cleared his head. Benny got with him. They coached whatever he needed to coach up, and he was back on his game again. So I guess that's the hope. They figured out what it is. And mostly it's just a mental reset, probably, right? That's what they're thinking.
The Larry Brooks had the Ranta example, but you could also Hank got hurt and Cam Talbot went on that magical run that he went on, and Hank came back and was Hank.
Yeah,
special goalies are able to do special things, and I'm not ever going to put Igor on the Hank level, but he is a top 5 goalie in this league, and he's got the number 1 coach to help him through these ruts. So it was always hard for me to be truly concerned about Igor Shesterkin just because we've seen it and we know who he's working with. It took longer than I expected, but they're progressing. They shut the Flames out last night. Tonight is a good night to be I think things are going in the right direction.
I feel you absolutely on that. All right, bigger question here. Are you going to the outdoor game? Is Blueshirts Breakaway being represented at this game? Does it matter to you? Does the game matter to you at all? Well, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Am I going? No.
Okay.
I didn't go to the City Field game, and
you're a Met fan, so
I'm a diehard Met fan. I think I was living in Georgia at the time, so it would have been hard for me to fly up and do it.
Makes sense.
You know, I've heard all the horror stories about how freezing cold it was. To me, I personally think football stadiums are too big for these games. I just, you know, I get saying you were there. Baseball stadiums, they provide such fun angles and different viewpoints that you wouldn't expect, where I wish they kept doing these at Citi Field or the new Yankee Stadium, what have you.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Is it a big deal? I mean, you guys tell me. I don't think it is.
It's lost its luster.
I don't know. I've always had a problem with the Winter Classic as a whole, just because I just think it's on the wrong day.
That's fair.
Like this is a point that I've always had with the Winter Classic. Listen, college football won New Year's Day. You just have to admit defeat. It's their day. That is their bull day. You let them have New Year's Day. You're not going to compete with football. I don't care if it's the NFL or college. To me, the Winter Classic, they need to find a different day for it. I've never been able to figure out what day that is.
Right.
You
can have a random day in January, but I guess it doesn't have that same cachet, you know.
But
it's
that's
tough.
The lazy and the annoying thing about the NHL is like if you pick a day, you make it. Like
make it your day.
Nobody to my knowledge has claimed President's Day, and we are a league that makes a big deal about the President's Trophy. So why don't we have the Winter Classic on President's Day when we're all off from work, we're all not doing shit, there's no football. That is around the time of the NBA All-Star break, so you don't have competition from the NBA, you don't have competition from the NFL. It's too early for us to give too much of a shit. Sorry, I don't know.
Yes. No, let it fly. Let it fly.
It's too early for us to care about spring training. It is it's after Valentine's Day, so you don't got to worry about anyone picking favorites. Why isn't the Winter Classic played in the middle of February on a day that is named after one of your important trophies? I've just never understood it.
You hear that? Get Bettman on the phone. We're gonna get Bettman on the phone. We're gonna pass this down and write a fucking letter or something. Let's go. I like it. I like it where your head's at.
Now you know what? Prediction time, man. You know the Rangers, man. I'm hoping for the Cup, right? That's my prediction. I'm like Cup or bust. All right, that's just me. That's just me.
Have you guys enjoyed that Stanley Cup now means something different? Have you noticed this? What are these things that appear at Starbucks that I have to care about?
You know what? It's a fucking joke.
My wife has one. She went crazy for these things, man. I'm like, no, I want the real.
Where did they come from? It's just a water bottle, right? Am I losing my mind? Like it's just a container that holds liquid. That's all it is.
That's it. And you know what it is? It went viral because a person's car caught on fire, and the Stanley Cup lasted in there. So now,
isn't that morbid as shit?
It's crazy. So the Stanley company paid for the person's car, and then it blew up after that. The cups are like $30-$40 a cup or something like that.
I bought one for my wife this fucking Christmas, so I
know. She wants a million of these things.
Listen. I grew up in an Nalgene era where if you didn't have a Nalgene, you were a nobody. I get it. It's all cyclical, but. Yeah, man. You Google search Stanley Cup and the results are hilarious. It's
crazy. Wow. Where we at, man? Like hockey. Anyway,
best trophy in sports. It ain't close though.
Because that's upset. That's upsetting, right? Come on, that's upsetting. Stanley freaking Cups. But anyway, prediction, man. Prediction time. Rangers taking it all away, or
where do you have it ended? Where do you have it ended?
We have the right ending at.
I always feel uncomfortable giving a straight prediction because you know it especially with hockey, it's tough. You get the hot goalie, anything's possible. We've seen it hundreds of times.
Right.
But here's how I'll rank it in terms of how upset will I be if X doesn't happen. If the Rangers lose again in the first round, I don't think Chris Drury will survive. I say that as a card-carrying member of the Chris Drury is great bandwagon. Wow. Like that man, he's made one mistake, maybe two in his tenure, but we all know James Dolan. The stakes are higher. This is Drury's second coach. If the Rangers lose again in the first round after the season they are having, I don't think Drury survives. If they lose in the second round. So in this scenario, I think the Rangers are winning the Metro. I'd expect them to beat any wild card team, which will likely come from the Atlantic, which then means the Rangers would have to beat either the Hurricanes or the Islanders
hot after that?
Devils
Yeah,
as three seed.
man.
Yeah.
The Rangers should be able to beat
Either one.
any of those three teams.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me, I would say anything short of a conference finals appearance would feel a little bit like a disappointment.
That's fair.
First round exit, unacceptable. Second round exit, a disappointment. An exit in the Eastern Conference Finals
That's so great. Okay.
depends on the team you're playing, but I can at least justify, hey, we were in the Final Four. We're trending once again in the right direction. We're on our way. And then any result where the Rangers are in a final, whether they win or lose, I think the Rangers are your Eastern Conference champions. You have to call the season successful. You do.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I don't see a scenario in which the Rangers, if they win the Metro, if they don't make an Eastern Conference final, it's not gonna feel good. It'll feel like something went wrong.
Well, like you mentioned too, like the East, there's not a lot of teams where you can't see the Rangers being the favorite team in that series, whatever it is, other than Boston at that point. Like,
well,
I don't really know.
Especially in the Metro's been so unexpectedly mediocre this year.
Mid, they call it mid. The kids now.
It's really hard for me to see a scenario where, as long as they don't have a serious injury to a Fox or a Panarin or an Igor, it's hard for me to see a scenario where I'd feel like the Rangers would not be the better team. I can see those scenarios against the Bruins. I mean, the Lightning are always a pain in the ass, and that's always a nasty series. Even the Maple Leafs, like if the Maple Leafs make an Eastern Conference final and it's against the Rangers, we're all going to have a bad time just in terms of
exactly.
all of Canada is going to be with them, and it's going to be annoying as all hell. But yeah, I don't see a Metro team that's going to be better than them. I just don't.
I feel you. I feel you on that, and I'll take that prediction. I think it's a solid one. I agree.
And before you get out of here, you know you're a diehard Mets fan, whatever the case is, man. Right now we're doing off-season predictions. We're gonna throw you in the fire. I told you today. We're gonna throw you in the fire. All right. Off-season predictions. First off, how did you feel this off-season went, and what do you see the Mets going as far as in the future when the season starts?
You knew it was going to be a step back off-season. It was Yamamoto or bust, and they came up bust. Nothing I can do about that. It's not like Steve didn't offer him the most money, so I can't be angry about it.
Right.
I've never been a Snell guy, had no interest. Montgomery, I wouldn't want to go 6 years on him. Don't really have interest there. The starting pitching is going to be tough. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. Like, they're listen, I am a Met fan, but I have seen more Luis Severino starts than I can count. And if I'm counting on him being my number 3 starter, I promise you I'm not going to have a good time. Mostly because he's not going to be there to be my number 3 starter. I think last I saw their over-under on most sites was either 82.5 or 83.5.
That feels right.
With as underwhelming as a winner they had, it will surprise you to hear that I think they will comfortably go over.
Comfortably.
Here's the thing. Like, I get it. They didn't have a great offseason. This is still a really deep and good lineup. They are going to score runs. And even the parts of the lineup that I'm not 100% certain about, specifically Brett Beatty, who I can't stand, and Harrison Bader, the Mets have young players they've acquired in recent years that should be ready to go by the middle of the summer, where if Beatty stinks, they can play McNeil at third and call up Luis Angel Acuna. And if Harrison Bader gets hurt, they can move Brandon Nimmo back to center field and call up Drew Gilbert. They have internal options with high upside where no matter what, this is a lineup that should score runs. Starling Marte is still the 6th best hitter in this lineup. If he's healthy, that's a phenomenal 6th best hitter. It's still Pete Alonso, who they're not trading. It's still Francisco Lindor. It's still Brandon Nimmo. You have a full season of Francisco Alvarez.
Yeah,
this is a good lineup. Jeff McNeil is 2 years removed from a batting title. Scoring runs can be a problem. They get Edwin Diaz back, so the back end of the bullpen is better. I'm still have a lot of questions about how games are going to go in the first 7 innings, pitching wise. Especially when Senga isn't pitching.
I get him there.
Yeah, but Senga's going to give you a start every 5th day. Quintana's going to give you a start every 5th day. I don't know what the hell you're getting from Sean Manaea. I have no idea what an Adrian Hauser is. Yeah. Luis Severino will be there for half a season, but the Mets also they have some young pitching that is at least intriguing. Like we're going to see Mike Vassell this year. We're probably going to see Blade Tidwell this year, who has a top tier name. Christian Scott is a helium prospect right now on the rise. They have options. It's not going to be sexy, but honestly, the teams Met fans rally around the most are the ugly, gross, kind of not pretty, gritty baseball.
Yeah,
we love it. Like 20 outside of Jacob deGrom in August of 2019, that was a Met team.
Right.
It was a lot of JD Davis just doing random shit. I think this team goes over. The Braves are going to win the division. The Phillies are going to get to 90 games. The Nationals are still bad. The Marlins are still the only major league team to not sign a player to a major league free agent contract this winter. The Oakland A's have signed guys to major league free agent contracts. The Marlins haven't. I don't know what their game plan is. They're going to be bad again. The 3rd best team in the National League East should be capable of winning 84, 85 games. And the Mets are more than capable of being the 3rd best team in the National League East with the lineup that they have.
Hey, you talk some positivity into me. I'm a glass half full guy, but I like your style right now.
What's funny is I'm usually not the positive one.
Does it feel good?
Does it feel good? Forget about it. But I don't know. Met fans that are all doom and gloom, like here.
If Vientos over Vogelbach too is an instant upgrade, if nothing else for power, and power alone. Like he'll hit about 15 to 20 more homers.
The Met fans out there that want them to sign a DH, we at some point need to get a Mark Vientos answer. And the only way you're going to get an answer on what Mark Vientos could be or will be is if you give him 300 at-bats. I get it. JD Martinez is a nice, intriguing option. I need to know the Mets want to be good in 2025. They're going to spend money again. The free agent starting class is
bonkers,
just filled to the rim.
Yes.
So they're going to sign a pitcher for big money. And before I get to 2025, when I fully expect the Mets to be one of the 4 teams with an honest-to-God shot at winning a World Series, I need to know if Mark Vientos is a guy that I can have on that team. Fair. So if I can, Vientos is like the 8th or 9th most important player in this lineup. This is the perfect year for me to figure out what the hell I have with this young player. If I can answer that question and take – instead of winning 90 games, I win 85 games. Good. I at least know what Vientos is for me long term.
Facts. Hey, listen. If anybody could pick up the hearts and soul of the Mets, you just did that right now, man.
And trust me, we do appreciate that, brother Craig, man. Craig Kaplan, guys. Blueshirts. Breakaway, man. Just tell them where they can find you, and of course, plug your pod before you get out of here, brother.
Yeah, man. Obviously, Ryan's at casino night tonight, so he's
son of a bitch.
He's schmoozing with all the big wigs and the suits. Listen, I told him, I was like, guys, I can't do casino night. I got to talk to my guys.
Thank you, brother.
Every Tuesday morning, we drop a new podcast. We've been doing it for this is year 9. Now, been going strong. Boy, who would have thunk it is my whole thing.
Love it.
You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Blueshirts Break. Ryan is Ryan Mead. If you like the show, we're on Patreon. We drop bonus episodes at least once a week. I also do a bunch of bonus episodes. Like I do a gambling show where if people listen to it, I was preaching the chorus of Joanne Jennings all week.
Gentlemen,
I made so much money on the Super Bowl betting Joanne Jennings. He was plus 750 anytime touchdown. He was plus money on over 1.5 receptions. Wow. He was only 14.5 for his over-under on yards.
God.
I just said all my worst desires, being like, this is going to be the Joanne Jennings game.
Let's
Thank
go.
God New York
Big
doesn't
time.
let you. Thank God New York doesn't let you bet MVP because I would have bet Juwan Jennings MVP. And if the Niners won that game,
You might have got
the MVP, Juwan Jennings. Like if you
yeah. You're
You must
right.
have been heartbroken at the end of that game right there.
Well,
man.
listen again. I'm happy the New York State and Kathy Hochul doesn't let me do that. That is, I thank her because I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I'd be in a grave somewhere. But yeah, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Patreon. Our Discord is bumping. It's a really fun place for Ranger fans to get off Twitter and talk to each other. So it's nice to have. Listen to the show and. Playoff time, we ramp up. We do a show after every game. So you get to ride the emotions with us. I remember Game 6 last year, I had to go to a wedding. So the Rangers beat the Devils to force a Game 7. It's one of the drunkest nights of my life, and I had a podcast with Ryan immediately afterwards.
Let's go.
If you ever need a laugh, you can go back and listen to it. I was there in that podcast. There was a moment where I was trying to tell Ryan a story from the wedding, and I just remember being like, no, it's too many words. I'm done.
And guys, of course, this is brother Greg Kaplan of Blueshirts Breakaway. Please go follow him, everything that he's there. And we do appreciate your time, my brother. Thank you so much for stopping by Missing Casino Night. We do appreciate you.
Hey, seriously, just let me know when you need me back. I'm happy to come on.
Appreciate you, my dude.
So
hopefully,
much,
we get some good stuff to talk about in the next couple of weeks.
We hope.
Have a good one,
boys. See you on next one.
All right, Greg.
Peace.
Later.
Man, awesome, man. Greg, full of knowledge, full of everything when it comes to the Rangers. Not only that, man, you can see his passion around the Mets as well. I mean, even though I'm a Yankees,
he's a sports guy. He's a sports guy.
Sports guy, man. You guys living a dream, man. Living our dream.
Sports guys, we got Tuto. He came in clutch at the end.
Go.
Got him in here.
Round of applause, Tuto. Thank you so much.
Massive salutes and respects to my crew and fam. And all diehard Giants fans in America. And please slap all them boys loses again. And we say, forget about it.
Forget about it, Paizono. Forget about it. Speed, I want to talk about a couple things, man. First things first, man. During that Usher halftime, we didn't even get through this, man. The internet went crazy. They're going crazy. Just Alicia Keys and Usher hugging, man. I'm just letting you know. Does that look wild to you? Listen, man. Let me tell you something, man. Usher's the new Mr. Steal Your Girl. All right.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of Usher. Listen, man. I know he got married and all, so I know this is all for entertainment, and we're just laughing at the moment. But boy, he know how to put on a damn show. Because he looked like for a second, like, oh man, he gonna take Alicia Keys.
It has some history.
Oh, he gonna take Alicia Keys from Swizzy. Oh my goodness.
It was. I was like thinking to myself. I was just like, man, he's just too smooth. He's too smooth for his own good. Man. It's like you couldn't trust. You're right. You can't trust a girl around him. Nobody. You can barely trust some guys around him. Who knows? Usher's got that. He's got that suave. He's got that suave about him that I wouldn't even bring my girlfriend near. Like, just stay away. No. But
hold on.
Yeah,
let me say this before I get out of here, man. And we're gonna end this just like this. And this is gonna be a yes or no in chat. Get in here. Knicks talk real quick. Was that a foul?
Yes. No, it wasn't foul. That was one of the worst calls. And I've played basketball my whole life. I've never seen a call that late in the game so egregiously bad. Like, if that same contact happened in the paint, 5 inches away from the rim, that should have still not been called a foul. Let alone a desperation.
You gotta play that out
from 35 feet. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking? And listen, I'm a newly minted Knicks fan. You know that. I've just hopped on board. I was irate. I could not believe that a game that was so good was decided on such a bullshit fucking call 35 feet from the fucking hoop.
No,
that's unbelievable.
It was it's Vegas calling. Yeah.
Somebody's got to investigate that motherfucker.
We got to call that right there. That was the worst officiating since
the NBA. The NBA immediately they shit on him. They're like, no, that wasn't a foul. How many travels did they miss? How many fouls on Brunson did they miss? Like, go off, E. What do you think, man? I don't know. I mean, I think we're on the same page here, right?
No, we're on the same page, man. Before we wrap it up, you know, to have a game decided by officials, it's always a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Fucking bullshit.
Always. Like at the final minutes, especially in the NBA, they kind of let them boys play it out unless it's like a real egregious foul, whatever the case is.
Yeah. It's 101. 101 basketball.
That was this ticky-tacky. I don't know, man. And again, to have officiating pretty much decide the game, it just leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And knowing how red hot the Knicks are right now, it's just like, really, man? Like, come on, man. Like, what we doing? You know what I mean? And they call that bullshit call. Come on, what are we doing? Like,
you can't do that.
I don't expect that anymore from the NBA. Like, I thought the NBA cleaned that up a lot. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
You know what I mean? I thought they cleaned that, not to say a lot, but I thought they cleaned it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Since the whole gambling thing with the other guy, they got like a 30 for 30.
Oh, yeah.
I think they cleaned it up pretty much. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just like, yo, like, come on. And again, I'm not saying none of the refs are gambling. I'm just not. It's just like certain things it was
so egregious.
You gotta let at that moment, you gotta let it play out. You have
not to mention Brunson just hit a massive shot in the last play. You don't call fouls on star players to begin with. You don't even call like if it was
that shows you they don't respect him as the star. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe that's a bigger issue. Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like everyone thinks that Jalen Brunson is the star.
He is a fucking star.
I mean, all Knicks fans will probably agree. At least I hope they will agree with this right now. Looking at him, he's a star. Like I understand, like you know, people are saying, "Oh, he has so much more to do. He just wasn't that guy on his previous team." Whoever, no, he's a star here.
He is that guy,
and he's living up to the reputation of one. So you need to give him that respect. Mm-hmm. And you're right, Speed. Like on star players, they just don't make those stupid, idiotic calls, in my opinion. They let it play out.
So many levels.
And he was still a professional. He was still a professional. He was like, that was the right call. That was the right call. Still a professional.
You just admit to. Oh, we talking about Brunson at the end? Dude, he's whatever. He's been everything the Knicks could have imagined and more. But like there were so many levels to how bad that fucking call was that it made me lose my mind. But like we said, Knicks need the All-Star break right now. They're just out of gas. And then fucking DiVincenzo injures his hamstring. I hope to God that's not that bad, man, because that's a guy that can't afford to lose. And a lot of people are getting on Tibbs
at this point. Yeah,
they're getting on Tibbs for playing his start is way too much. It's this team doesn't need to be good now. The East is not that good. They need to be good in a month and a half. That's when you need to be. Everybody's got to be healthy coming back in March. And that's what you need. So don't fucking blow it now because you want the second seed. Just go at it and be smart. And I hope he doesn't burn these people out before it's too early.
I agree. And guys, man, this is the show. We thank you for stopping by, supporting us as usual. We're trying to do a little more off-season, man. Of course, we're going to start doing other things at off-season, guys. Of course, I'll be recording my podcast very soon as well under Revival Entertainment. You guys should be seeing that very shortly. And yeah, man, on behalf of my brother, man, Mr. Glass half full of nets. Speak if you nasty now.
1, 2.
And on behalf of my brother El Jefe, which is not here, is your boy.
We love you.
We love you, brother. We love you. Heal up. It's your boy, Eli Rex, a.k.a. Vibe. Shout out to the Revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. You guys have a great night. Peace and blessings.
Eli Rex, El Jefe, Mr. Glass half full, the Revival.